was the original plan of salvation given to us. When we go to the book of Genesis, the first chapter, verse 14, you look at the word season, and the word season is Moedim. Everything is centered and based around the Moedim. Now, you can even ask my Yahusha. Every single festival, I give her a token of my love. Piece of jewelry. I've been doing it now for 25 years. Because I understand now is that if that man is supposed to be a Yahuah to his Isha, because again, we must be able to draw the parallels. The way that the Mashiyach loved his bride is the same way that we as men are supposed to love our Ishas. It's the same thing. If you can't show that love, that fortitude, that forgiveness, that love and that kindness towards her, how in the world are you going to expect to have this relationship with the Father if you can't forgive her? This is the reason why I made the announcement last week. Is he followed suit in making mention that, listen, you know what? He wants to also give honor to what keeps him sound, what helps him to move on to the next level with his understanding. Because the two are supposed to be one flesh. One flesh. And even as a mishpachah here, we're supposed to be one flesh. One body. We are all here based upon self-same. We're all working towards the promise and the oath. We're trying to build a family here. This is the reason why I say now is that we can't portray ourselves a righteous person, a righteous male or female amongst everybody, and then once I go home, I get my Isha hell. What type of crap is that? What is that? All right, listen, Kassadabah just beat me half to death. But I get up here and talk about love, peace, and harmony in Shalom. I'm talking about Akkad. Hey, listen, I just saw Kassadabah at the strip club. I mean, you know, and then come here and tell everybody not to go to the strip club. Yeah, that's how it is. It's called being an actor. Yeah, a hypocrite. Yes.
Okay, when you say us as a body being one flesh, that's different than man and woman being one flesh. Each Asha and Asha.
Right.
You know, us being a body, we are immersed. You know, as far as being a body, it's just different than Genesis. I was just trying to clarify that as far as unity. We're not literally one flesh as a man and woman are. We're joined together.
Oh yes, we are. I'm going to show the scriptures in Genesis. Oh yes, we're going to go there. We are all coming from one flesh. I'm going to show in the scriptures. We are all connected. We're all connected, and if you're not connected to the body, Scripture says that he has no part of me. And we talked about the part not being the body. If you're not part of me, we're all interconnected, and we're supposed to now have that love, compassion for one another, because we already brought out before, when we looked at the Hebraic numbers, remember we talked about Akkad? Remember we talked about Ahab and Yahusha, and they all come up to the same numerical value. You will never see, there's no way that you can operate outside of the body. It's just not going to happen. Everything must be done in Akkad and Ahab. Or Ahab. That's the only way that it can function. The two must become one flesh. It's real easy. When we get to that spot there, we'll stop and take a breather. I just really wanted to get this done here. So again, self-same day versus anniversary. Depending on the context of the passage, the best English word that can be used to describe the Hebrew expression, self-same or esteemed, is our English word anniversary. When we think of an anniversary, we immediately think of an annual, reoccurring calendar date of a past event, which is usually a historical or personal importance. I'm going to speed it up here now. Let's look at some scriptures to prove all this that I'm saying. Let's go to the book of Shemot, the 12th chapter, verse 17. 17. Because there was the old school is that spending time with your ishas was like something that you're not supposed to be doing. You know, you're the man and you just rah, 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 rah. But that's not what we do here. Everybody needs that special intimate time. And when you call for that intimate time, that party is supposed to be there. Remember what happened in the book of Bereshit, the 3rd chapter, when the groom, which the Mashiyach, was walking in the garden in the midst of the day, and he called for his bride, Adam and Yahuah, or Eve. They didn't respond in the right way. They hid themselves. So just imagine that. You want to have now this personal, intimate relationship with your Isha, so when you call her, she's not responding. And then you speak out and you say, what's going on? And then you can tell by the verbiage, I was naked. Wait a minute. Who told you that you were alone or naked? I called on a set-apart day to have this intimate relationship with you. This time apart with you, and you didn't respond. And being that you didn't respond, guess what happened? My mother and your mother was not executed, but excommunicated out of the garden. So we see how serious this is? What I'm trying to do is draw parallels with our personal relationships and how the Father now is doing the same exact thing. The festivals are about now coming to covenant relationship with the Father so that we can all be one. What's so important about all of this here is that we're now about to start the count to the marriage. So the festival is not stopping. When we get to the wave of the sheaf offering, I pray that everybody is ready to now move on to the next stage. Because you can't participate in these festivals if you're not right. It's all about leaven. You can't have the leaven. Exodus, the 12th chapter, verse 17. Watch how this goes. If there's any, if we could save them to the end, you can write down your questions, but I just don't know. I don't know what we're reading. Let's go to Exodus, the 12th chapter, verse 17. It says, and you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in the self-same, it's the same word again, self-same, which is the word bone. For this self-same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations for an ordinance forever. Now, the question is, being that this covenant was made 430 years prior, 430 years prior, when did the covenant come into play? Was it the 14th or the 15th, according to Genesis, the 15th chapter? When when the Mashiyach, or the smoking furnace went between the pieces. Was it the 14th or the 15th? Help you out here a little bit, no problem. When we had the preparation day for the Mashiyach, when he was hung on the tree, was the covenant ratified on the 14th or the 15th? The 14th, right? So, blood ratification, remember, blood ratification, blood ratification, blood ratification. When the Mashiyach died, remember when he was on the tree, he said that it is finished. The blood has to be shed. It's the blood. While the tester is still alive, it can be of no effect until the tester dies. The tester is Yahusha HaMashiach. He has to die. Has to die. So when he died, on the 14th at evening now, but this is what has to happen now, because it tells us now in the book of Genesis 15 chapter, it said now when the sun went down, this is when the smoking the smoking pieces now went between, the smoking lamp, the burning lamp went between the pieces here. That's when it became a covenant. That point there. Can you just speed it up a little bit? Speed it up, speed it up. So again, you observe the feast of unleavened bread for this self-same day, which is talking about back and as a remembrance. We're looking at back again what happened with Abraham. Because the word self-same, have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt, therefore shall you observe this day in your generations for an ordinance forever. You can go to Exodus 12:41. Exodus 12:41. Everybody's good? And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the self-same day. Here we go again. Self-same day again. Do anybody know what the word self-same means? What is the word that we're using here? Bones, exactly. So something existed before it became a bone. 430 years prior to that is when the Father made the covenant with Abraham. Everything's based upon that. And it came to pass at the end of 430 years, even the same day it came to pass that all the hosts of Yahuah went out from the land of Egypt, which happened on the 15th. Let's go to 1246. We have in one house, the word one, if somebody can put your little marker on that, you tell me what that word one. So they should begin to answer Yahuah's question. Akkad, one. So everything is about oneness, coming together in one accord, understanding redemption. So, in one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh, neither out of the house, neither shall you break a bone thereof. Now, this is what we're supposed to be doing now until the schoolmaster came, and the schoolmaster was Yahusha HaMashiach. And the word is that you should not break what? And the word bone is what? Self-same. You see how this is connecting? It's going back now to the covenant that the Father made with Abraham. Where we at?
30 seconds.
Okay, so what we're going to do, Mr. Carr, is that right here, we're going to stop. I'm going to let everybody stretch their legs here a little bit, and if you can just give me one more hour. And the reason why is because today, again, is a very, very important day. Hallelujah.